Alright, so we are still on adding and subtracting fractions, but instead of having two separate videos, there are times where you'll see a problem like this. And notice the problem is combined with operations. You have adding here, subtracting over here. So this is still topics 14 and 15. I just put a slash there, so you can put a slash in your journal if you want to. It's letting you know 14 was adding fractions, 15 was subtracting, and we are still on those two topics. So we're still going to go over that. Okay, so let's start with what I see here. That says adding at the top. So step one we know is to find the least common denominator. Our problem is 13/14 minus 1/2 plus 2/7. Now, before I even try to solve this, step one is I'm looking at my denominators. Notice I have three different denominators here. I'm going to go in the order that I see it, a 14, 2, and a 7. Now, as you begin to practice this, you'll learn to look here and see, hey, look at my largest one. Does 2 times something give me 14? Yes, and this happens to work out. 2 times 7 is 14. 7 times 2 is 14. So our common denominator is 14. But let me show you how we figure that out. 14 times 1 is 14. 14 times 2 is 28. I'm going to stop there because technically we've already found our common denominator. Now, let's go with 2's. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4, excuse me. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times, what am I? Oh, I put the 5. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 7 is 14. Now notice I'm going to stop here because I have 14 at the top here, 14 down here. So hopefully I can find 14 here. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. I can stop there because I see 14 at the top here, 14 down there, 14 down there. Now remember, if you need this to help you find your new numerator, it took me times 2 to get to 14. On this one, you just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, that means 2 times 7 is 14. On the top one, 14 was the first one I found. So 14 times 1 should be 14. Okay. So now back to the problem. What do the parentheses tell us? Remember, this means do me first. Whenever you see something in parentheses in your equations, your math equations, as they get longer, you do what you see in parentheses first. So I'm going to do that first. And now remember, we do not ever solve horizontally like this. Especially with fractions, you will confuse yourself. So I'm going to write this again. Remember, I'm going to ignore my 13 out of 14 first, because I'm going to do what I see in parentheses first. So it says to do 1/2 plus 2/7. We already found our common denominator. Common denominator is 14. We already said with the 2, so find where the 2 is. It says that it took us 7 times to get us over there. So that means 2 times 7 is 14. Whatever I do to the bottom, I must do to the top to find my new numerator. 1 times 7 is 7. On the bottom, to get to 14 from the 7, 2 times. 7 times 2 is 14. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 2 times 2 is 4. Now, if you need to model this out, remember what operation you're doing. We are adding. So I'm going to draw my 7/14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 14. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, each of these is its own individual piece of my fraction. So that's why I'm putting my numerator as 1. If I add up all my numerators, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 7. I'm adding, so I'm going to add 4 more. Remember, we are now looking at these two numerators. We're no longer looking over here. Don't forget that. You look at your new stuff. So I'm going to add 4 more. And you know that too because your denominator needs to stay the same thing. I'm adding 14ths. 4 more 14ths. Count all of them. I know I had 7 up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I now have 11 14ths. Over here, if you just add your numerator, 7 plus 4 is 11. Denominator does not change. Stays as 14. Now we are not done. Be careful. Always go back to your original problem and make sure you finish everything. So right here we now know 11 14ths belongs right here. So I'm going to write it inside of my parentheses. So I now know this right here in my parentheses, my answer was 11 14ths. So my new problem tells me, and look how nice this is for us, we don't have to find a new common denominator. I'm going to do this in green so we're not confused. I'm taking what I have, and here is where it's important. Yes, we found this answer, but is this okay? 11 minus, and then I put over here 13 out of 14? No. Follow the order that you see it. So I don't see that. The first thing I see up here is 13 out of 14. And I'm subtracting. But I'm now subtracting what we just found out our answer to be when we added a half plus 2/7, which is 11 out of 14. Be careful with that. Remember, it matters. It matters the order that you place it. You follow the equation. You're not creating your own equation. You're following the equation you were given. This is nice to us. Because we did all that fancy work in the beginning, I already have the same denominator, so I don't need to find a new one. I can go ahead and subtract. Remember, you are only subtracting your numerators. We never touch the denominator. So if you want to, you can go ahead and write down your denominator, which is 14. Now, if you need to draw this out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All of these are out of 14. So here's my fraction pieces, and we're getting smaller. Subtracting, am I going to draw 11 more down here? No, I'm not. I am taking away. I'm eliminating. I'm going to look at this number here, 11. So I'm crossing out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I am only left with these two right here. So I should have 2 14ths left. If I look here, 13 minus 11 is 2. My answer is 2 14ths. Now, are we done? No. I have a prime number here and a composite number here. I need 2 prime numbers. So let's see here. Remember, these are multiples. Here I need factors. Here I need factors, so I'm going to do what operation? I'm going to divide. So here, what are the factors of 2? 1, 2. This is prime. Factors of 14, start with 1. 14's over here. 2 times 7. 3 times nothing. 4 times nothing. 5 times nothing. 6, 7. So this one's nice to us. I don't need all that room. The only factors for 14 are 1, 2, 7, and 14 to make our composite. So then I'm looking again in common. It's the 2. So I'm dividing by 2 here. Divide by 2. Whatever I do to the top, I do to the bottom. My new fraction. Oops. Let me do green. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So your answer is 1/7, which is equal to 2 14ths. Alright, I'm going to do one more. This time, I am not going to model. I think I dropped the eraser. Okay, 7/8 plus 1/12 minus 1/2. 3 denominators I see are 8, 12, 2. This one's not nice to us because nothing times 8 will give me 12. So we need to list. 8 times 1 is 8, 16. 24. I'm going to stop there. 12 times 1, is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. 2 times 1 is 2. 4, 6, 8. Notice I'm trying to get to 24 because I see it at the top there and here. So let's see. 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. All right. Our common denominator is 24. I see it up here, here, here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Times 12. 1, 2. Times 2. 1, 2, 3. Times 3. Parentheses. Just a little glare. I'm going to do this first. So we are doing 7/8 plus a 12. Oops. knowing our common denominator is now 24. With the 12, it took us 1, 2 times. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. With the 8, it took us 1, 2, 3 times. Times 3 here, times 3 here. Okay, let's find our new numerators. 7 times 3 is 21. 1 times 2 is 2. 21, I only touch my numerators. Denominator stays the same. So I'm looking up here. 21 plus 2 is 21, 22, 23. My new answer is 23/24. Now, I cannot even simplify this. That one's prime. So we're fine here. But we are not done. And if you could simplify, I would not simplify till the very end of your problem like we did last time. So here we have, this right here equals 23 out of 24. If you want to, since you guys are using pencil, you could even circle this and say 23 out of 24. Something to let you know I'm not done here. Not done. So then look at the order. I do not have 1/2 minus, I do not have this. 1/2 minus 23 out of 24. It's not what I see. The first number in my equation should be what I did first. So this is backwards. I should have 23 out of 24. Notice I'm not just throwing it on the side here. Make a new problem. Take your operation, I'm subtracting, and we are subtracting 1/2. Now we can take a deep breath because we've already done it. We know the common denominator is still 24. So this fraction gets to stay the same. The bottom one has to change. How do we get from 2 to 24? We multiplied by 12. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top, times 12 times 12. 1 times 12 is 12. We are subtracting. So here's when you have 23 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Keep going. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 22, 23. Taking away 12 pieces. I'm subtracting, so I'm not adding more. Right here is my 23. I'm taking away 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oops, we're only taking away 12. Excuse me. So what do I have left? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. My answer should be 11/24. We can check ourselves right here. 3 minus 2 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. Keep your denominator. Remember, you only touch your numerators. And are we simplified? Yes, we are. Nothing times 11 will give me 24, and this is a prime number. All right, this one was a little bit longer. See what happens when you have more steps. It takes more work. Very good.